Thank you very much. Excellencies, delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends, it's a great honor and a great pleasure for me to be able to be here to address this very distinguished audience. And I apologize in advance if I depart from my prepared script a little bit. You know, it's very fashionable nowadays with politicians to occasionally depart or they take diversions from the prepared script. Anyway, I believe it's the famous author Ernest Hemingway who once said or wrote that in every port in the world you can find at least two Estonians. I think it's also true of every internet portal, or every digital port that you can find. And I'm also particularly happy that specialists, policymakers, and delegates from such a large number of different countries found this event, this conference, important enough to actually come to Tallinn to visit our beautiful country and our beautiful capital, and take an active part in those discussions. Well, I'm even more happy that for me as a foreign minister of Estonia, this the obligation of being here and speaking to you today gave an excuse to visit Tallinn, because my staffers don't let me do that too often. When it comes to digital services, when it comes to e-governance, then I would not be able to pretend that I'm a highly qualified specialist, particularly in front of this audience. Believe me, I've done that in front of some less qualified, less specialist audiences, but obviously I wouldn't be able to deceive you. I'm normally, when it comes to digital services and e-governance solutions, on the receiving end. I'm more of a consumer. And I take it as a sort of natural part of life that I have to sign dozens of documents every day, doing so in the internet or by my mobile ID. When I pay my bills, I do so I would say 100% of time on the internet. When I check what my kids have to do as their homework at school, I do so in the internet. So I think that as an Estonian, as an ordinary Estonian, I'm pretty used to using all those innovative technological solutions that make our life so much easier. Well, I think that the e-governance, providing fast and highly accessible public services using ICT, using information communication technologies, that's we take it as a natural part of our today's life. I think that also increasingly this is something that's on everyone's mind and part of everyone's life, not only here in Estonia but everywhere in the world. Indeed, the e-governance and the provision of digital services to our people is so high on Estonia's agenda, both internally, domestically, and also externally as part of our international cooperation, that we can truly say that we live in digital society. Estonia's dedication to digital development is reflected in also in our development cooperation policy. We have for years prioritized ICT-related projects when it comes to our development cooperation with our regional partners as well as further away in the world. Currently, we have 38 active projects which promote the use of ICT for governance in one form or another. Those projects cover a wide range of different topics and subjects, from cybersecurity training in Georgia to assessing e-government systems in Sao Tome and Principe to e-government system e-governance academies, supporting e-governance academies around the world. I said that e-governance is a very high priority for Estonia, both domestically and internationally. But I don't think that e-governance is while it is a very Estonian thing, a part of Estonia's brand, I do not think that it is just an Estonian thing. Neither should it be just a thing for wealthy and industrially developed nations. In the second decade of the 21st century, I believe that e-governance is and should be a global tool. Something that each country, be it rich or poor, in Europe, in Africa, in Americas, in Asia, can and should utilize on smaller or larger scale. Well, hopefully on a larger scale. And they should too, everyone should do so in order to bring our people closer to the government. In order to be able to offer services to them at a lower cost and at a quicker pace. And I believe that this conference has demonstrated that good examples can be found in very different countries all around the world. Estonia is well underway with our preparations for the EU Council presidency. We will assume that important function as of July the 1st. And indeed, we intend to maintain our commitment to e-governance in our country, but also in Europe and globally, very high on our set of priorities in our presidency agenda. We strongly believe that Europe needs to move towards a digital single market, but also intensively promote reaching out to our citizens via electronic means. I think this is, a great way to, as I said, provide good quality services very quickly, very fast to our people. It's also a great way of increasing government transparency, fighting corruption, and generally improving trust of people in the government. And government, not just any sitting government in any particular country, but government in the broadest sense of the word. During our presidency of the European Union Council, the EU will hold important summits with diverse set of partners from EU's Eastern Partnership countries to the summit of European Union with Africa and with the community of Latin American and Caribbean states. And I believe that those important summits that will all take place during the second half of this year will provide an excellent opportunity to discuss digital solutions as a way of accelerating development, economic development, boosting growth, and improving competitiveness inside and our countries, but also on a global scale. The European Commission's Digital for Development strategy was published at the beginning of May with the goal of streamlining digital solutions in the European Union's development policy. The strategy creates, I think, an excellent opportunity that we need in order to accelerate development and benefit from the digital revolution, also in that important area of life. Mainstreaming digital solutions can result in boosting productivity and job creation, but also empowering important segments of our societies, particularly women and girls, enhancing democratic governance, transparency, and also enable other sectors such as agriculture, education, and health in developing their full potential, because digital is not just a thing in itself, it's a cross-cutting issue. We believe that each country, each nation can and will find their own unique ways of how of best using digital technologies and services in order to boost its own development. We confirm or reaffirm that Estonia is ready to cooperate and assist all our partners. We are ready to spread our experience and our expertise that we have developed over the years in order you to follow your chosen paths. Estonia will be working very closely with the Commission during our EU presidency in order to turn the Digital for Development strategy into real action. It is clear that digital technologies, internet access and e-services are a vital tool in driving the progress towards achieving both the African Union's Agenda 2063 as well as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. These objectives, these tools can provide access to education resources and healthcare, services such as mobile banking, e-government, but also access to internet more broadly and access to social media as a way of communication between people. It can also provide information to, for example, to farmers to help improve their crops and producers in order to bring their products to a market and get the best price for those products and services. It can harness the potential of our economies. Obviously, at the same time, we will have to focus on addressing the vulnerabilities, on building trust, in building legal framework. So I think the digital development, the development of e-governance and digital services is truly a multifaceted area. Estonia is not only preparing for the EU Council presidency, we are also campaigning to become, for the first time ever, a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council for the years 2020 to 2021, and also as an aspirant of the aspiring UN member, we advocate innovativeness as well as responsibility, which I believe is a key premise for the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, as well as EU's goals and African Union's goals, which we have set for ourselves in order to improve the lot of our people. By way of conclusion, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you all for attending this important conference. I believe that the discussions that you've had during these past few days will not end here in Tallinn, but will actually continue for quite some time to come during Estonia's presidency, during those important summits that we are going to have later this year, but also in other important international fora and in all of your countries domestically. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our long-term cooperation partner, Estonian e-Governance Academy, for putting this event together, and for the long time. They have been preparing for this conference in order to have everything run so smoothly. And I believe that we are dealing with an issue that will be a very important priority for quite some time to come for the whole of our planet. And you have been a truly global audience. I thank you all very much, and wish you a very enjoyable rest of your stay in Estonia, and a very, very good cooperation in order to develop our digital societies, economies, and digital governance in our respective countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.